earlier, I spoke about those talks in Zurich with Neysn Mahboubi. He's a research scholar and lecturer at the Center for the Study of Contemporary China at the University of Pennsylvania.
I think there's a lot of movement in both the U.S. and in China towards setting a floor under the relationship, which has become so toxic in recent years. And we've seen a lot, especially since the meeting in Bali between Presidents Biden and Xi. This is part of that general trend that includes also the upcoming visit of Secretary of State Blinken to China. So I think in that sense, the narrative is one that is generally positive. Of course, the big question is how much can this really work given all the other things in the relationship that will continue to be sources of tension? Will it really be possible to set a floor even though there are still going to be big differences on matters like Taiwan, on the tech competition, and on other issues?
Well, let's talk about the things that they can perhaps find common ground. What are some of those issues?
Well, clearly, both countries are thinking in terms of economic issues at the moment. Both countries have their challenges. And so that would seem to be an area that, if you can wall it off from the tech competition, would be, in the classic phrase, a win-win. In the U.S., obviously, the Biden administration has been trying to get ahead of inflation. In China, there's been lots of economic cost related to the zero COVID policy. And so I think both sides are coming to this conversation with a real sense of needing to prioritize economic dimensions to the relationship, which have maybe not been at the forefront in recent years.
And Neysn, with China opening up again after 3 years of strict COVID restrictions, and you mentioned Secretary of State Blinken going to China next month. What do you foresee? What are your expectations? What do you hope to see in 2023 in terms of relations between these two global economic powerhouses?
I think above all, what I'm hoping to see is a return to the people-to-people exchange that has been so important for so many years and has been a ballast even at moments of great tension. So I think in and of itself, a return to people exchange and having Secretary Blinken and potentially also Secretary Yellen going to Beijing is going to be symbolic of that return. Now, obviously, that's going to take a little while to ramp up, but over the course of the next year, I'm very hopeful that we can get back to that. As to the other issues, there will still be these looming tensions, which will be exacerbated by, for example, in the U.S., the new Republican House majority is certainly going to push the accelerator on some of the things that have been such big issues in the relationship of recent years. But perhaps at least this meeting between Yellen and Liu He will signal that there are people who on both sides are going to be attentive to the economic relationship and will look for ways to keep that from falling off entirely.
And with the looming tensions, the disputes on so many issues, disagreements, and of course, the domestic realities in China as well as here in the United States, how important then are these lines of communication, keeping that open?
Absolutely, and I saw an interesting quote from a scholar I admire a lot, Susan Shirk, the other day, saying essentially that it only is when the relationship gets truly dangerous that both sides have to really think about how do we get out of this rut we're in. And I think that's where we were. So I think there is a mutual recognition, and there's lots of different signs from both administrations of Xi Jinping and Joe Biden that they understand that and that they're going to work on that. But of course, they're operating within a larger context, and who knows how everything else that's important in the tensions will play out in the coming years.